your printer?
Now, you young ladies who brought your boyfriends with you, hold on to their hands tightly. I'm talking about Bettelheim the Great, a living, breathing fairy tale giant, 9 feet 3.5 inches tall, 436 pounds with a 41-inch neck. In yesterday's town, 5 college football players abandoned their damsels dear and redefined just what we mean by the weaker sex. Buick and GMC are here to help. Should you need a vehicle?
You don't need space for a big workbench to have a great setup.
So noisy. Good heavens. Hello there, boys and girls. Stevie Coyle here. Thanks for tuning in on the... what is today? Friday? Monday. This is the Monday webcast on Facebook. It's Facebook Live. It's a live stream. And I don't use... a man my age doesn't use the term stream lightly. Insert Flomax joke here. Well, thanks for tuning in. Strange days, eh? How you been? Me too. Us too. And thank you, if we may, for Miss Valerie May for helping out with the technical aspects of today's show. Thank you very much. And for Muggsy, our black cat, who will probably be contributing high harmony vocals anytime. Wee is what he says. You'll hear him. Well, if there are any comments and any questions, do tell us where you're webbing in from, please. Is the picture okay? Are we, it's, you know, it all gets so good. The sound is another problem, is another situation. Does that sound okay? I think the levels are pretty good today. Welcome to the webcast, Webcastways All. The little tune you heard first there before the Buick commercial was Mr. Oster's Baby. Actually, it's the Mr. Oster theme. Mr. Oster's Baby was the tune it was originally culled from. And I'm hoping that Mr. Oster himself is actually online. Apparently there's some problem with the internets over there on the coast today, but with any luck, Mr. Oster himself, will be with us. There we go. Sure. Oh, more like that. Except that my right cheek is going to go numb if I said like that. I'm going to be a tiny bit crooked today, kids, it looks like. How about that? Wee Muggsy. Oh, this little tune, I was going to tell you. This was a tune a buddy of mine and I invented because there was this thing back in the 80s where, excuse me, Flemish, everybody was ordering in bars, which is where we were playing at the time, everybody was ordering these frappe drinks, these whipped icy drinks. And right in the middle of your tender love ballad, you could count on the Osterizer going off. So we thought, well, in the spirit of, as my grandmother from vaudeville would say, if you can't fix it, feature it. So we thought, well, we'll feature it. Every time that happens, we'll play T for Two. Dee, 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 dee. And as soon as the Osterizer goes off, we'll pick up the song that we were in the middle of, mid-note. It was a great idea, except we didn't know T for Two. So we made up this one instead, which the full title of is Mr. Oster's Unfortunate Baby. And it's been shortened to the Mr. Oster theme for the album 10 and 1. And Mr. Oster is our protagonist. More on that later. I will tout my CD mercilessly later on. But first, let me tout the tip jar information. If you would care to contribute to the cause, the PayPal, and you've heard this a million times if you've been watching online, the PayPal, you haven't heard this one, but you've heard tip jar information. The PayPal is stevie@steviecoyle.com. Venmo is Mighty Fine Guitars. And that's sort of all you need to keep your karma straight. And that actually is the correct last chord. Thank you. Muggsy, how'd I do? Was that pretty good? All right. Ducky, are there any questions or comments so far? Any requests or muttered threats?
Are there any snacks? Blackie Farrell.
Blackie Farrell wants to know if there are snacks. Yes, at your house. This is like what we used to say at festivals. This is the Sleep Festival. The Sleep Festival is at your house next week. Speaking of which, I'm going to, if I haven't already, bounce this over to the Strawberry Music Festival page, because that's my home festival and still my fave, and I'd love to get back in touch with some of those folks. So if this isn't going over there quite yet, I'm going to bounce this over there a little bit later on. Hi, Blackie. Blackie Farrell is a wonderful singer-songwriter. If you don't know Blackie Farrell, you do know Blackie Farrell. You just don't know you know him. Mama Hated Diesels, Blackie Farrell. Sonora's Death Row. Mezcal is free in Amanda's saloon for the boys from the old Broken O. Saturday nights in the town of Sonora are the best in all Mexico. They got guitars and trumpets and sweet senoritas who won't want to let you go. Who could believe such a happy town had a street called Sonora's Death Row? I wish I knew it past the first verse, the Leo Kottke version. There's actually a first verse. I'll have that for you soon. Blackie Farrell, look him up, Google him up. He's in Google, you can find it. And you know, Google is on the internet, and the internet is a whole lot easier now because they have it on computer. So check it out. I've been watching, perhaps you have too, Jorma Kaukonen I'm a great fan of his. I nearly said he's a great fan of mine. As if. I'm a great fan of his. We've had occasion to meet a couple of times. First at a festival where I was sitting backstage at a festival in Colorado, if memory serves, with him and Chris Smither. Just three guys hanging out, together, talking about guitars and music and stuff. And I reminded Jorma that something I knew that he didn't know, is that we both had gone to the University of Santa Clara, go Broncos, all those years ago, and we were both taught by the good Jesuit fathers. And that's where we started telling Catholic jokes back and forth. And there were only a couple of rounds of Catholic jokes going back and forth because we crossed paths several times after that at various other festivals that particular season. And I've forgotten what any of the rest of them were because the slam dunk that he ended up with was, Stevie, I got a great one for you. How many Catholics does it take to change a light bulb? I said, I don't know. He said, just one. Questions already? Yes, there would be, wouldn't there? That, I got to tell you, I told that story once on the radio, and it didn't go over so very well. We had a question or comment?
Gordon Garr would like infirmary songs. Also, everyone says John Prine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll do a Prine, but if I do a Prine now, I'm going to be a slobbering mass of tears. I'll do it at the end when I can be a slobbering mess of tears on my way out rather than mid-flight. I went down to St. James Infirmary. I wish I knew it. This is a first cousin. Maybe I can play the melody. First cousin too. Which was made popular again by lots of people, Dave Van Ronk, but most particularly Jorma Kaukonen. I think we were talking about Jorma Kaukonen, and I wanted to sing you a Jorma song. You can find him online. I've forgotten. I think it's Fur Peace Ranch, F-U-R Peace, P-E-A-C-E. Fur Peace Ranch is the name of his apparently wonderful place in Ohio where people go to have their guitar playing lives transformed, and such things do happen there. It's apparently quite a shrine. I got onto Jorma when I was in high school. I don't know how I got a hold of this Hot Tuna record, that first Hot Tuna record, where I played Drop the Needle for hours on end in high school. That was kind of my high school, was sitting on the bed playing Drop the Needle on that one. few years later, he came out with a solo record. That was a Hot Tuna record, him and Jack Cassidy, with some guests on there. Will Scarlett on harp, as I recall. And maybe that was the only guest. Boy, oh boy, great album. Seminal album. Not Seminole. That's different. I don't think he's Seminole. I think he's Finnish. I'm sure there's a joke in there, too. That was a really remarkable album. He came out with a solo album years later, and I think this was the one that all of us guitar geeks had to learn. Time has come for us to pause and think of living as it was. Into the future we must cross, and I'd like to go with you. I'd like to go with you. You say I'm harder than a wall, a marble shaft about to fall. But I love you dearer than them all, so let me stay with you. Time we borrowed from ourselves can't stay within a vault to dwell, and living turns into a lander's well. Going along with you, going along with you. And though I'm feeling you inside, my life is rolling with the tide. I'd like to see it be an open ride, going along with you, going along with you. How about that? Thank you. I'll applaud for that. Great song. And a wonderful performance. Thank you so much. You're so right. Good heavens. Where have I gone wrong? Comments, questions?
3 ideas.
3 ideas.
George Mustaki. Yeah. George. McGarrigle Sisters and I Know You Rider.
Oh my, I Know You Rider. I sort of had that. I wonder if that's in the memory banks anywhere. Too similar to the last one, George. Sorry, man. Same key, same structure, same everything. I'll put that on the list for another time, though. And I really will. That's no fooling. That's no foolsies. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to make some noise now. We shut the front door so the neighbors won't be horrified. I'm going to ramp things up a little bit. Bust out the old flat pick. Oh, but first I gotta kind of grease up. You know what? All this hand washing is hell on my calluses. It's just quite difficult. And it dries out my hands, something fierce. So I'm going to try a little of this here, goose grease.
You just bumped Muggsy.
Did I really? Oh, I'm sorry, Muggsy. I didn't even see you. He's so very black. I'm sorry, Muggsy. I'm sorry, bud. He was just trying to enjoy the show from back there. Yeah. There we go. I think that's as much goose grease as I can get on that pick thumb without screwing it up. Well then, oh, and I need to push this microphone back a little bit. How are we doing on time, Ducky?
It's 7:47.
7:47. We probably have time for some of this one, and then I'll finish up with a priney. I really will. I want to try and keep these things close to half an hour so that you can get to your next appointment. Maybe Michael McNevin, who knows? Maybe Bruce Kaplan and Claudia Russell, who can say? Maybe Richard Thompson, maybe Jorma Kaukonen. Lots of people are doing these things, and there's so much fantastic music happening from people's living rooms and back bedrooms and secret subterranean lairs like here. Tell me, real quick, I'm going to hit a chord really hard. Some of you sound techies out there, tell me if this is too much. Did this distort? I'll wait. While we're waiting, I'll take the sound down just a little bit. Pardon me for the rattly noise that this might make.
It's just buffering for some people.
Yeah, I know the buffering. It's all about the buffering. No, I can't sit cross-legged for this one. Shit, Gramps. My blue suede slippers are in need of repair. The only rockin' I'm doing is in this here chair. I was bopping my baloola when my back gave out. I got the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie woogie gout. When I take a walk, I'm challenging my feet to a drag, and every day him. As gracious, great balls of phlegm. Say I'm square, talking about my veneration. I get heavy drugs from Medicare, talking about my veneration. Come on, baby, you know what I like. I like a girl who remembers Richard Nixon and Ike. Roll over Beethoven, dig a place for me there. The only rocking I'm doing is in this here chair. Cocker. I'm a front porch rocker and I'm rocking till about 8:30. Was it good for you too? Well, I think I have time for one more before my half hour, my close to sort of kind of half hour runs out. And I did want to play a John Prine song. Met him a couple of times very briefly out there on the road when we were playing festivals together. And what a thing. I'll just shut up and play. And thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, good heavens. The PayPal and the Venmo are here. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if you need to see them. The PayPal is Stevie@mightyfineguitars.com. The Venmo... No. The PayPal is Stevie@steviecoyle.com. The Venmo, it's all different looking backwards through this. The Venmo is mightyfineguitars.com. Can we still be in the light if I hold this up here? I think we kind of lose the light right there. If you really want to do a PayPal or a Venmo thing, that'd be terrific. I would not say no. But all you need to do is go back to this, the beginning of the end, the beginning of the beginning of this video, and you'll see that slate that was up there, and you can get all the info off of there. And I'll have somebody, if somebody can repeat that, if somebody can type that in, that'd be great. That'd be terrific. Back to the pride. Get back up there for me. I ran over this one before the show. We'll see how it goes, because I think it might still be kind of squished. You come home late, you come home early. You come home big when you're feeling small. You come home straight and you come home curly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. What in the world's come over you? By all means sing. What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. I got a heart that burns with a fever. I got a worried and a jealous mind. How can a love that'll last forever get left so far behind? What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. dreadful sorrow. Cross the evil line that day. How can you think about tomorrow when we ain't got one word to say? What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. One more time, please. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. Let's tag it. You're out there running just to be on the run. One more time. You're out there running just to be on the run. Right. There you are, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I do these, well, I'm going to be doing these every Monday night between here and the corner, whenever we round that corner. So tune in 7:30 Monday nights. I also do a thing over on a platform called Stage It. That's pretty cool on Friday nights at 6 o'clock. So that's for the people back east who go to bed at grandfather o'clock. And we're trying to catch them when it's 9 o'clock back there. And we do a 6 o'clock thing on stageit.com. Once again, the PayPal and the stuff is the thing. And thank you very much if you do that. And if you didn't, I hope you had a good time. And I'll pass the tip jar along to other folks that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And do tip over there if you can. There's all kinds, like I said, there's all kinds of great stuff going on out there. So, any comments or questions? Any burning issues that need to be resolved?
They're dancing on their chairs.
They're dancing on their chairs. My God, be careful. You get down from there, you'll put somebody's eye out. Any other comments or questions? Clappity clap clap. Thank you. Very good. I sure appreciate that. It's the oddest thing in the world to sing to your phone and your sweetheart, so that's fun, and your black cat. So from all of us here to all of you there, have a whopping good evening, and we'll see you out there. If you're watching anything fabulous, any fabulous series television that you think we ought to know about, we do that. So we are at the point where we've caught up on all of our series, and we have to wait every week for another Blacklist and Outlander and all of that stuff. So if you got anything new and exciting that we can binge all at once, we're working our way through Mad Men. We missed that all those years ago, but golly, there's nobody to like in that show. Who's there to like? Well, I suppose there's Peggy, and kind of, but she's getting involved with, well, I don't want to tell you, I'll just finish up and say the sled was called Rosebud. Oh, what kind of guitar is it? Oh, sure. I'll if you want to hang out. Those of you that need to run, go ahead and run away, and I'll answer a few questions here. The guitar was made by a gentleman in Vernon, British Columbia, called Ted Thompson. There are 3 Thompson guitar companies out there. This is the second one. No, I don't know. This is Ted Thompson, who is not the same as T.J. Thompson, who is not the same as the Thompsons that make Thompson that make the other Thompson guitar. This is Ted Thompson. I think he works in the same little industrial park as Linda Manzer. Somebody told me that once. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But that little stylized T up there is for Thompson. A nothing fancy guitar, really, but it has served so well for many years. I got this at Griffin Stringed Instruments all those years ago when it came into the shop and I was stringing it. I was working on the floor there. Oh, I mean, I was, figuratively speaking, on the floor. Literalism is the great killer of jokes and things. I was tuning up every guitar that came in and restringing a whole bunch of them just so I'd get to know all the guitars. Same thing I do at Mighty Fine Guitars now. And this one just jumped up and bit me on the butt and said, I'm yours. You just got to find the money for me. And there was a fella that was in and out of that shop all those years ago that was real interested in the guitar I had at the time, which was a Martin M36. Are you writing this stuff down? I'll go slower. And he wanted the guitar that I had. He said, if you ever want to sell that guitar, I get right of first refusal. So I called him up. He wanted that guitar. I wanted this guitar. Griffin got a nice piece of the action too, and we all did very well on the deal. And I've been playing this ever since, I think that would have been 98, 97 or 98, which is well into double figures now ago. And it's rosewood back and sides. I thought I was a mahogany man, but apparently I'm not. And the top is just basic Sitka spruce. And this guitar has been there and back with me any number of times, always dependable. The first guitar I took out on tour with the band I was with for many years, which was called Menudo. The first gig we played was up in it was way out in eastern Canada, way out in Canso, Nova Scotia, at the Stan Rogers Folk Festival out there. And I took a guitar, a Loudon, which was a fantastic guitar, but it had a cedar top, which did not stand up so very well to the every kind of weather we had that weekend. Thursday, it was sunny and bright. It was 70 degrees. It was beautiful. I thought, this isn't so bad. They said, stick around, landlubber. And by Sunday afternoon, it was sleeting sideways. And the very sensitive and wonderful cedar top on that guitar, it was untunable. I had to borrow a guitar for much of the weekend. And the other guitarist in the band had his guitar lost by the airlines and had to play somebody else's guitar as well. So we were borrowing all kinds of stuff left and right. There we are. Questions, comments? Class is excused. If you need to go, by all means do. And I'll see you next week here at steviecoyle.com. Yes, by all means. Just pick up your certificates at the door, because I taught comedy traffic school years and years ago. God help me, God forgive me. And that was the last thing you'd say to people is, don't forget to pick up your certificates at the door, because the whole thing, you were in prison for, 32 hours or something, and you had to pick up your certificate to show that you had gone to traffic school and you were very repentant and you would never do it again. Stevie Coyle here, and Miss Valerie May and Muggsy signing off from bucolic Lafayette, California. Thank you so much, folks. Nighty-night. Pardon the crotch of my pants while I turn this off.